Hello everybody and welcome to your first concept check of the year. It is a very unusual one in that there's only one concept on this concept check just because we haven't gone through anything else since we had all that beginning of the year stuff that tends to take a while. On all future concept checks you will have more than one concept for sure. So you are watching this video because you have at least one correction to make, which you should be doing on a separate sheet of notebook paper that you will staple to your quiz sheet. So let's look at this first one, and feel free if you got this one right to advance the video until you get to the problem that you do need to see. All right, since this is order of operations, I'm going to remind myself of what is the order of operations. We start off with grouping or parentheses. Then we get to exponents, and then we get to multiplication and division, whichever one comes first, left to right. And then the same thing happens with addition and subtraction. They are left to right. Okay, so let's just check it off as we go. We look for grouping in this problem here, and we see this set of parentheses. So that means we are going to focus on whatever is inside those parentheses. And we've got several things going on. We have addition, we have an exponent, and we have subtraction. So what would come next? Well, we look at our order of operations. Exponents are going to come next. So that is right here. All right, so let's go ahead and do that part. 2 to the third power means 2, and let's not write that in yellow, 2 times 2 times 2. Don't forget, that's not 2 times 3. It's 2 times 2, which is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So far we've taken care of the exponent. Now we look inside this grouping, and we still have the 8, we still have the plus, we still have the minus, and we still have the 6. And then, of course, we have this stuff at the end as well. So now we're inside these parentheses, and we're going to do whatever happens from left to right, since all we've got left is addition and subtraction. So 8 plus 8 is 16, and 16 minus 6 is 10. So we wind up with all of this grouping stuff turning into just plain old 10. So now we have 10 times 4 minus 2, and we've taken care of the grouping as well. All right, so order of operations now says I have multiplication and I have subtraction. What's going to come next? We check it out and we know that multiplication or division comes next. So we're going to tackle 10 times 4. Now this is where I leave you because I want you to finish this off and get the right answer for problem A. For problem B, we have grouping without even seeing a set of parentheses. And remember, that's why we call it G instead of P, because we need to do whatever's on the top first, and then whatever's on the bottom next, because those are essentially groups of numbers that we have to take care of. So let's go ahead and do that. So 21 plus 7 is going to be 28. So that's our top number. We have our division bar, and then 2 plus 2 is 4. So we wind up with 28 over 4, and then we can bring down the rest, minus 3 times 2. Okay, so we've taken care of our groupings. We look for exponents, and we don't have any, so we can just check that step off. Now we're going to do multiplication or division, whichever comes first from left to right. So the first thing that we see is division. So we're going to do 28 divided by 4. And 28 divided by 4 is 7. And now we bring down the minus, the 3, and the times, and the 2. What comes next? Well, we're still in this step right here because we haven't finished multiplying and dividing yet. We still have multiplication. So this part is going to come next. Understand, we're not going to subtract here first. We actually have to do the 3 times 2 first. And then we're going to wrap it up by taking care of the subtraction at the end of the problem. So I will let you go ahead and do that. For the second part of this concept check, you had to insert one set of parentheses somewhere to make the statement true. So for C, we know that we want our answer to be 7. If we were just to leave it as it is, well, let's think about what that would be. We would need to divide first. 56 divided by 7 is 8. And then we would do subtraction next, and then addition. 8 minus 5 is 3. 3 plus 6 is 9. So clearly we need to change it up somehow. So let's think about where those parentheses should go. This is often just a guess and check kind of thing. So let's say we put the parentheses around the 7 minus the 5. Well, what would that mean? 7 minus 5 is 2. And then 56 divided by 2 is actually 28. So if we add 6 to 28, we're not going to get 7. So that didn't work. How about if we put them around here? Okay, so this case we do 5 plus 6 is 11. And then we would go back and do the division. 56 divided by 7 is 8. And I'm subtracting 8 from here minus 11. That isn't going to work either. All right, so you might remember that I kind of gave you a hint that you can put parentheses around more than just two numbers. It's still just one set of parentheses, but you can put it around 3 numbers, for example. So let's think through this. If that's the case, we're going to do subtraction and then addition. 7 minus 5 is 2, and 2 plus 6 is 8, so that might work. If you think that's the solution, then you'll need to show your steps on your paper. I'm going to erase those because I'm not going to give you the final answer. I want you to think about it. The last one, if we leave it alone, we would multiply this 5 times this 5, and we would get 25. And then we would add 5 plus the 25 and get 30, and 30 minus 5 is 25 again, not 5. So clearly we do need to figure out where to put a set of parentheses so that we change up the order of operations. So let's try parentheses around here. Let's see what happens. 5 plus 5 is 10. Then we would multiply 10 by 5 and get 50. And then we'd subtract 5 and get 45. So parentheses around here did not work. We knew that parentheses in the middle wouldn't work because we already would be multiplying first anyway, and we ruled that out. So think about where we haven't yet tried the parentheses. Okay, let's see, maybe around these two. Let's try it and see. Okay, add, multiply, grouping. We would take care of the grouping here first. 5 minus 5, of course, is 0. And so then we would have addition and multiplication. We would need to multiply next. Think about what 5 times 0 is. And then once you get that product, you would finally add it to 5. If that works, then that's your solution, and you'll write through all your steps. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any other questions.